All right, guys, so we're going to talk a little bit about omnipresence marketing for health practices. Essentially, what omnipresence is being present and seen everywhere where your prospect or patients might go. So that might be not just on Facebook, but they see you in the newspaper. They see you at live events or workshops in your community. They see you at community events, at the coffee shop they go to, direct mail, and so on. So what we really want to do is surround our ideal prospects and patients from a retention standpoint with always being able to get access to our information and everyone seeing us as the preeminent authoritative figure for the specific target niche and problem that you solve in your community. So we're talking a little bit about what this really looks like in the components. So essentially what we have is, starting by drawing 3 circles here. And those are the best you're going to get. I'm not a designer. So what we've got here is we've got online sources, offline, and partnerships. And you'll get a copy of this, the nicer looking one that you can use for your reference after. We'll just kind of go through this for some of the illustration purpose. So what we really want to do is have components of online, offline, and partnerships at each one of these segments. So where we can really start is by breaking each one of these down into 3 separate categories. So the first one we've got here could be your website. So your website is really the hub where everyone should be going to get your information. You're getting traffic. Because think of it as you owning a piece of real estate in the internet. So you're able to control everything that kind of happens through there. If you've got an online portal, you're able to control those sections. If you have like a Facebook group, for example, anything could happen to Facebook. You could get banned, it could get deleted, whatever. Anything could happen. But if they're on your website, you've got control over that. So it's really important to have an online component as your website where you're driving traffic to. And ultimately, you're able to retarget those people and manage on what goes on there. We've also got Facebook and other social media-based components that you can start. Sure, that's not on there. Maybe you can see that there. I think it should be a little delayed. So social media components, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and so on. And these are other paid sources and organic that you can use, but they're just different forms of digital that we want to be able to start utilizing with our both getting prospects and managing our current patients. The other that we really look at is doing things like pay-per-click, Google AdWords, and so on. This will help with a different component of the patient seeking you out, known more as search. So whereas Facebook, someone might be scrolling to look at cat pictures or see what's going on with their nephew, see what's going on with their parents and so on, and you hit them with an ad, it's more disruptive. Pay-per-clicks are more people are searching out. They might be typing in, how to deal with my low back pain, or physiotherapist near me, or something along those lines. So there's slightly different intentions behind what you're using in terms of how you're searching. So someone who is typing in how to overcome low back pain, physio near me, is probably more likely to be committed to solving a problem or getting a solution solved, as opposed to Facebook. You might have to warm those people up a little bit more. Ultimately, you could drive them to your website, warm them up there through reports, webinar, content, whatever it might be, and ultimately get them to start the relationship with you that you can nurture and eventually get them to book. So the next stages that we look for offline is we have direct mail. So direct mail is one component that you can use to target specific people in your area. So for example, you can start targeting people who own houses, who have a specific income level, if they're married, and all of these other components. So it allows you to get laser targeted with specific populations of people. And it's another way to start getting in front of ideal prospects. So people are battling for using email and so on. And often a lot of the emails don't even get open. Well, direct mail can actually get directly received to the recipient, but you've got to have some strategies in order to get them to obviously open it and have a clear call to action and offer, so that they're going to want to contact you and take advantage. We go through some of those components as we get into the modules on optimizing direct mail. We also like to use newspaper. And newspaper is an excellent way to build authority, credibility, and expertise and some preeminence in your community, especially if you have a local community-based newspaper. So in our area, we've got a section of about 50,000, 60,000 people who are in the direct community around us. And I think it's like 3-kilometer range. So with that being said, there's a pretty densely populated area, and the newspaper allows us to leverage for 2 ways. One, we have a column where we talk about nutrition, exercise, sleep, and lifestyle-based habits, so we get a bit of credibility that way, and we're actually providing content to the paper and value. And we also have paid ads where we write basically like editorial-based ads. Again, we've got modules to show you a little bit about what that looks like in some of the more successful campaigns that we've used. But it helps us target a lot of older types of population, as well as even the people who are 35, 40s who are actively looking at that community-based newsletter. And we got here, this one's a little bit bigger than the other ones, but ultimately we'll adjust that down. Then we've got things like workshops and events based in your community. So if I'm able to do workshops, what I can do is gather people in the community, gather my patients that I currently have, and invite their friends, family, colleagues to a special event. And this special event might be something that you hold for like how to overcome low back pain, how to run without getting shin splints. We've run a bunch of different ones. Ideally, you pick one topic for a specific population and a problem that they have. So in the summer, generally around April, May, we all like to run a running-based series and golf, because people are starting, the weather's getting nicer in the Toronto area, people are getting warmed up and wanting to go out and do stuff, and because they were not really doing anything during the winter times, often they get a lot stiff and they get pain and they start getting to do these activities and they get issues. So we have things like how to overcome shin splints with running, how to golf without your low back hurting you, and basically put on these workshops, promote them to our local community partners. We'll get to that point, as well as our list of patients, and ask, is there anyone that you know that likes to golf, that has some low back pain and wants to play a better season without injury? We'd love to be able to connect them, bring them workshop. Generally, we have 20 to 30 people coming to the workshop alone. We like to bring in food. We have a good event with some unique content. Sometimes we'll go through interactive as well as just the presentation alone, so that way they're getting some value out of it. We might demonstrate an exercise, might be a breathing exercise, we might give them a nutrition. If it's a nutrition lecture, we give them nutrition supplements or food and so on. So they're getting some value, and it's making it a bit better of an experience as opposed to just simply giving them a sales pitch for an hour or an hour and a half. So workshops are really easy to use and will actually start to build you and your credibility in the community. One quick tip with this is we always recommend filming it, making sure you have good audio, good video, and ultimately you can utilize that for your content on your website, for your Facebook, other social platforms, email, and so on. It will actually give you a lot of content, and you can get other people who went to the lecture to obviously share that amongst their colleagues and friends and family as well if they've had good experiences. So the next pieces that we look at are partnerships. And partnerships are really important but often overlooked and executed very poorly. So the huge advantage with partnership is if you can find people who are synergistic to your service. So for example, if you've got a chiropractic practice and you don't have personal training could be a good adjunct service, or nutrition services could be a good adjunct synergistic service that you could reach out to someone who has already a business built up and fits in with your criteria of your vision, core values, and so on, and leverage their client base. Because chances are, if you're working with a personal trainer or a nutritionist, they probably have people who need to exercise. They probably have people who need to have pain and they need to get adjustments, or they need to get soft tissue work, or whatever your modality specifically is. So if you can find people who are synergistic with you, it's a good place to start. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in coming modules. We've got the joint venture partnership in the 90-day surge that you can refer back to as well to set those things up. So there's really three components to this partnership. And one of them is community. And what that really is just reaching out into your direct community, similarly to the newspaper and direct mail, and really being present, because people are going to start seeing you in the community presenting on specific topics. You're going to start to be seen as a go-to person. And unless you have a leverage practice that you're doing stuff online, and you're not a brick and mortar, this might not apply to you as much. But there's online communities that you could specifically be a part of. So if you're dealing with people who are 40 plus with diabetes, there's probably groups you could find that are community groups online, to work with. For those of you who have brick and mortar, you obviously have the direct community of however many kilometers or miles that might be. For us in Toronto, we got about 10 minutes, 10-minute commute, and 3 kilometers around us. And people aren't really going to go much past that, because depending on the time of day, to go 3 miles or 5 kilometers, it might take you 30, 40 minutes, and people are just not going to invest that much time. So community-based things are really important. We like to support community running groups, community cycling groups. We also have a lot of water sports in the summer and winter sports like skiing, snowboarding, and so on. So we support those groups, as well as even things like we had a school that was close by where we would go and do implement a kids-based program. So these were grade 7 and 8, and we would do exercising and stuff for them, as well as getting some of the teachers in joint venturing with them on getting them to be more active. So there's a lot of things in your community that if you reach out, more than likely people are looking for help. You don't have to invest much time, but you can get a lot of exposure in this omnipresence, ultimately what we're trying to build. So the next ones here we've got is value add. And what I refer this to is not necessarily a synergistic partner, but this is going to be a partnership where you can add more value. And one really successful scenario that we used was a local realtor. And how we really worked with them was we reached out and we were interested in all the people who were moving into our area. There's quite a few people who are starting to come to the area that we were in with the clinic and developing that area. So with this realtor, we reached out to them and set up a program where we leveraged our other joint partnerships. So we had a nutritionist, we had functional medicine practitioner, yoga studio, Pilates, and so on. And we utilized those relationships to help them build extra value. So when they ended up having someone looking at a place in our area, our community, we were able to give them about $2,000 worth of value between us and the other partners in the community. So if someone was coming, it's just more of an incentive to say, listen, this is a welcoming community. You've got everything that you need here. Here's your gym. Here's your clinic. Here's your coffee shop. There's even a barbecue place that's really, really popular that chipped in for this. So we ended up being able to leverage that. And every time someone came in, we ended up getting generally 1 to 3 people every 4 to 6 weeks coming in to take advantage, just move to the area and take advantage of one of our services. So it was another way to provide a bit more value, again, create that omnipresence. And someone, when they first move into the area, is more than likely going to need a gym to go to. They're going to need somewhere to eat that's recommended, a good coffee shop, and so on. So it only makes sense to approach someone to help build that value relationship. And the last one here is, we talked a little bit about it, is synergistic. And what that really is creating partnerships with people. Like if you're a physiotherapist and you need to include, you don't offer it, you need to include nutrition or supplementation, finding someone who can help with that process. Finding someone who can help with the personal training aspect. If you are a massage therapist, you might be able to find someone who can help you with orthotics and so on. So you're really just looking at finding people who are doing something that can best help you in your progress. And ultimately what that will do is build your network, help you leverage their business with your business, and really get your clients the best results possible. There's often a stigma where people think if I refer my clients out, they're going to leave, or this person might say something here and there. That's why what we do is, in the module for joint venture partnerships, we actually give you the scripts and the contract and the layouts in order to approach these, to have the right conversation and structure in a way that ultimately it's going to work out for both parties. And if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, you're able to quickly say, X party is not doing what they should be doing. let's get back on track. If it doesn't work out, then you're able to end it, walk away, and no hard feelings. So this is the overall, what I call omnipresence marketing for health practice owners. And it's really a way that's super powerful once you get everything installed. Because what people do is they focus on one or maybe two of these media sources. And what it does is it really completely gets them stuck in hitting a plateau. Because if only one person is ever focused on Facebook, then if anything goes wrong with that platform, or the ad costs go up, or anything changes, then now all of a sudden they're handicapped with how many leads and how many prospects and really growing their business. So what you really want to do, and generally we work with clients over a 12-month period, is getting each one of these set up so that by the end of the 12 months, they've got a full-fledged omnipresence marketing machine, both online, offline, and partnerships that will generate new patients every single month. And for us, we would generally get in, just from partnerships alone, around 20 to 25 leads per month. Online, we get somewhere between 80 to 100, and offline from direct mail, workshops, and so on, we could get somewhere between 20 to 50, depending on how many events and stuff we're planning. So it was an easy way to be able to get a lot of leads coming in. And like I said, if something doesn't work or one just stops working for whatever reason, you never are completely focused on just one source. So the worst number that you can have in business, and the most dangerous number, and this is a quote by Dan Kennedy, is the number 1. So if you have one media source, one sales campaign, one service that you offer, if anything goes wrong, you're going to have a lot of problems. So we really want to get you to start thinking outside the box and start utilizing other methods so that ultimately you can be super successful with your marketing. So if you want to learn more about this, there's going to be a link below so you can click and learn a little bit more about our program to be able to install these systems into your health practice so that you can start generating 20 plus new patients per month without wasting money in advertising, doing cheesy marketing campaigns, or worse yet, discounting your service. So I hope you found this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.